Tell us about the place you were born.
I was born in Gary, Indiana, and it was known as the steel capital of the nation because they had large steel foundries over there. And it was a large city, I mean larger than Hope.
As a child, what did you do in the summer?
Usually bike ride, roller skate. I love to roller skate, and go to the beach. We live right off of Lake Michigan, and we have wonderful beaches over there.
What is one of your favorite childhood memories?
Going to the beach.
Okay. How large was your family?
There were 8 of us children, and of course my mother and my father, so that made 10.
When you were about 13, what was it like in your home in the evenings?
Well, at that time, of course, we didn't have television, so we sat around listening to the radio, and of course, you know, we listened to the Lone Ranger. We listened to a show called Fibber McGee and Molly, and then there was a scary show. It's called The Inter Sanctum, which was scary.
How did you get to school?
Although it was a large city, but schools were within walking distance.
Okay. Describe the clothing styles when you were in high school.
In high school, of course, we did not wear pants. We wore the flared skirt, and at that time it was called crinolette slips. They made your skirts stand out.
How was the social life?
The social life, it was quite interesting. I mean, you know, we had dances, and which was one of my favorite pastimes also. And then we had outings, picnics.
What time did your school start in the morning and end in the afternoon?
Well, if I remember correctly, it started about 8:30 and would end about 3:30.
What month did it start and end?
At that time, we started right after Labor Day, which was, Labor Day is always the first Monday in September. And then we went through, excuse me, the first week of June.
Okay. How old were you when you started dating?
14.
Okay. What did you do when you were out on a date?
We usually went to a movie, and then after the movie we got some ice cream or soda.
Okay. What was a Saturday like when you were in grade school or high school?
Saturday was, I like sports, so we played football, and which I participated in, even though I was a girl, and volleyball, which was my favorite really, and baseball.
What age were you when you got married?
19.
Was your school segregated?
No. Well, actually, in the area where I went to school, it was prominently white, and but it wasn't segregated because in Indiana, it was not. We didn't have segregation.
How was your school different from the white/black school?
Well, I couldn't really tell you because I never went to. I take that back. When I first started school, yes, I had black classmates, but of course that was very young. That was like from kindergarten through the 3rd grade, and after that, I went to different schools. But the school I graduated from, it was in a small community. It was a suburb of Gary. And they were prominently white.
So what type of chores did you have to do?
Well, I helped with the dishes and not the cooking, but and the sweeping, and of course the making up the beds. You know.
What kind of car did you have?
What kind of car did I have?
Yes.
Well, my first car It was a 1949 Ford.
Back then, how much did gas cost?
Oh. I'm not mistaken, about 35 cents a gallon.
What was your first job?
My first job was at, I was a shoe salesperson at Sears Roebuck and Company in Gary, Indiana.
Okay. How were the wages?
At that time, I'm thinking minimum wage was like 85 cents an hour.
Oh, okay, an hour. How much education did you need to get a job, a good job?
At that time, it was high school. High school was sufficient.
Okay. What did you do when you turned 18?
When I turned 18, I was still in high school. As a matter of fact, I graduated in 54. I was almost 19 when I graduated from high school. So at 18, I was still in high school.
So what kind of advice would you give to students or people nowadays?
Well, I would tell the young people to try to keep themselves clean and primarily get close to God because He's the only one who can guide us. And don't surrender to peer pressure. You know, there's a lot of that going around, and you know they say if you don't do what the rest of the people are doing when it's bad, then you're not. Well, we used to use cool. I don't know what the term is now.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting us interview you.
All right, it was a pleasure. I hope it helps.
Yes.